So you've reached a silver rank, or you're stuck in silver and you're noticing that your mechanical skill is not on par with the other players of your rank. In this video, we're going to go over all the mechanics you should know as a silver player, how to practice them, and when to implement them, so we can help you push up out of silver and into that gold rank. What's going on, y'all? It's Zai, and welcome to the How To Mechanics series, and this is the How To Mechanics video for silver players. For those of you who've been following along on the channel, you know we've been doing a Road to Grand Champion series where we start at bronze and work our way up to GC by doing mechanics that players at the ranks that we're in should be able to perform or can perform. And this is the video for silver players. If you've been following along, you know that we just recently went from bronze and moved up into silver 1. So this video is meant to pretty much be showcasing all the mechanics I feel like will benefit silver players the most to help them push up out of silver and into gold, and things I feel like they should be practicing and things that we're going to be utilizing in the series as a silver. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and move over into free play so I can show you guys all the mechanics that you guys should be practicing or you should know as a silver player in Rocket League. Alright, so we're now in free play, and the first mechanic I want to go over is called Supersonic. And what Supersonic is it's pretty much the state your car enters into once you reach a certain speed. It is indicated by a trail that shows up behind your wheels. So if you look here, once we hold our boost for a while, you'll see that our car gets this trail behind the wheels here. And pretty much what that indicates is that your car has reached the maximum speed at which your car can go. So even if you're holding your boost, your car is not going to go any faster than what you're going in Supersonic. So holding your boost any time after Supersonic is pretty much just a waste of boost, and you can pretty much utilize this and you can save boost when rotating around the field. So whenever you hold your boost and you see this trail, you can let off your boost and you can just drive, and this trail will remain until you turn or hold power slide or anything else. Once you turn, you'll see this trail goes away. If you slow down, this trail also goes away. If you hold your boost like this and then you tap power slide, the trail also goes away. And it goes away because your speed changes and it decreases. As you're turning, your speed decreases. As you drift, your speed decreases, and things like that. So that is pretty much Supersonic, and it's a pretty simple thing to implement into your game as a silver. You just got to remind yourself to stop boosting once you see that trail, and you can save a lot of boost by just utilizing the fact that Supersonic allows your car to move at the maximum speed without you needing to hold your boost at all. So you can save a lot of boost by doing this, so there's no need for you to utilize your boost or to use your boost as much when you're going Supersonic. So the next thing I want to go over here is driving on the walls. So I noticed that a lot of times in our games or high bronze games, low silver games, that players are getting pretty good at driving on the walls and getting hard touches off the walls. And you might not be comfortable driving on the walls as of yet, being in bronze, seeing as our primary focus in bronze was to stay grounded and to make our plays very simple. But as you're pushing up into silver, you're going to have to learn how to step out of your comfort zone and actually start to learn how to drive up the walls and get a feel for how your car moves up on the walls as well. So just to give you a rundown here, when you go up the wall, let's say this is the left wall, when you drive up the wall here, right makes you go down the wall and left makes you go up the wall. On the left wall, if you're going up the right wall, in this case this will be the right wall facing this way, if you go up the right wall, right turns your car up the wall and left turns your car down the wall. So all you need to do is come into free play here, drive up and down the walls and get a feel for how your car moves up and down on the walls, so you can get comfortable driving your car on the walls, seeing as you will be doing this a lot during your journey in Rocket League, and it will help you increase a lot of your scoring opportunities that you run into, because there will be a lot of balls that roll up the walls, a lot of balls that bounce off the walls, and a lot of times you'll have to even make saves eventually off the walls. So learning how to control your car on the wall is an absolute must in this game, and you should definitely put some time into just getting a feel for how your car moves on the walls, even holding boost, trying to go faster, and getting used to moving your car up and down the walls as needed, so you can understand how your car moves on the wall, so you can get comfortable driving on the wall as well. Even with the ball cam, try to keep the ball cam on and controlling your car on the wall as well, so you can get used to how it looks, because there will be many times where you'll need to be in these situations, and it helps a ton. So that is gonna cover driving your car up and down the walls. Nothing too complicated, just pretty much understanding that on the left wall, left is up, right is down. On the right wall, turning right is up and turning left is down. Nothing complicated about the walls there, but it will take some time and practice of getting used to. So you'll have to spend not much time, but maybe just a few minutes every day just driving up and down the walls, just so you can get used to how your car moves up and down on the walls. Alright, so the next thing I want to go over here is basic aerials. So now I did explain what an aerial was in my how to mechanics video for bronze players. So if you haven't seen that, I recommend checking that out first. If you're like a bronze player or you're new and you're just stopping by and this is your first video that you've seen, I recommend watching the how to mechanics video for newer players or bronze players if you haven't seen that yet. So with that being said, we're going to go over basic aerials here. And so what I mean by a basic aerial is just pretty much flying up for the ball and just making a touch on the ball. You'll be surprised by how much that can actually make a difference, especially down in silver, especially on defense, where all you need to do is jump up for the ball and potentially make a save. Sometimes making contact with the ball is all that's needed, and you don't need to do anything too complicated here. So I'll explain again how to do an aerial for those of you who probably haven't seen the last video. So all you do here is you jump up, tilt your car back, and hold your boost. You can also do this by double jumping. You can double jump, tilt your car back, and hold your boost. This also sends your car into the air, but a little bit higher and a little bit quicker. So there's also fast aerials, but we're not going to cover those right now because fast aerials is a little bit more advanced and are typically not seen being used until upwards and towards the higher ranks. So a basic aerial, we're just going to be primarily jumping off the ground with a single jump and boosting up, and jumping off the ground with a double jump sometimes and trying to boost up and trying to make contact with the ball. It will help you out a lot, especially on defense and even on offense, where sometimes all you need to do is make a touch on the ball in the air to make a save or even get a shot towards the net. Help you out a ton, especially if hitting the balls over the opponents as well. So there's a couple of ways to practice this. Rocket League has its own training packs as well. You have the rookie, the pro, and the all-star aerial training packs. I do not recommend doing the rookie one unless you just want to pretty much get a feel for how your car moves in the air. And I recommend starting with the pro or the all-star aerial pack, seeing as these are a lot more realistic to balls that you guys will see in your games. Actual moving targets and not balls that are just sitting static in the air. So if you guys do want to practice that, I do recommend giving the Rocket League Pro or All-Star training packs a try, so you guys can get used to hitting moving targets in the air and overall learning how to control your car in the air at the base level, and pretty much just understanding how it moves and understanding how much boost you need to use and things of that nature. So I would definitely recommend checking out that training pack, seeing as it does help out a lot of newer players understand how to hit moving targets. And this is going to be utilized a little bit during the silver rank, not too much, but we will be using that here and there to make saves probably, and to get a couple shots or maybe even some passes to our teammates. I have seen a couple silver players in our games or high bronze players attempting to go for them, not quite successfully pulling them off every time, but it does show that it is within the realm of possibility for the silver rank that players in silver will start to go for aerials a lot more and probably start making contact on the ball in the air a lot more as well. So we want to make sure that we're able to do the same and try to keep up and stay on par with the rest of the silver players, so that we can push up out of silver and into gold by enhancing our aerial abilities and overall increase our scoring opportunities and other offensive and defensive opportunities, and overall be a better teammate so that we can push up into the next rank. Alright, so the next thing I want to cover, and probably the most important thing that we're going to be utilizing the most at the silver rank, is generating power on rolling balls or balls that are sitting still, or even balls that are rolling up the wall. So we're just going to learn how to generate power on a ball that's easy for us to read and easy for us to predict. So for example here, this ball that's sitting here in the middle of the field here, it's not moving. So we got to ask ourselves, how can we generate the most power on this ball here? And it is not by flipping into this ball. It's also not just by driving into this ball. Even though driving into the ball can get you a little bit of power in the direction that you want to get into, but the best way to generate power on this ball is by holding a boost and smacking into the ball. You see how much power and arc we got on the ball? We're going to be using this quite a bit in the silver rank to pop the ball over our opponents, maybe to the backboard, and we can wait for the bounces and try to capitalize on a shot, or just to get a harder clear up the field so that we can clear the ball away from our net a lot better and up the field. Of course, we're still going to be primarily trying to take our time in situations that when we have time on the ball, still trying to keep control of the ball, but also when we have touches that we can make on the ball that are hard, we want to also try to take those as well, seeing as a lot of players in silver, even gold or plat, have a harder time saving shots that are hard and up into the air, seeing as a lot of players are still practicing their aerials around this time. So knowing how to generate power on the ball is a really good skill to have starting out. The earlier on you learn it, the better. So there is something that I do want to cover. I did say boosting into the ball while the ball is sitting still, or while the ball is rolling on the ground, will make the ball generate power and pop up off the ground into the air. But this is not always the case, and here's why. So what if the ball has momentum in a certain direction? Like what if the ball is rolling towards you or away from you? Or maybe it's rolling towards you from the side. Well, the ball having momentum or some sort of a counter force, like an opponent is driving into the ball from the opposite side, does change a lot. Let's say the ball is rolling away from you, and the ball is rolling away from your car. If you were to boost into the ball while it's rolling away from you, adding momentum into the same direction, the ball will not pop up or go as far as you think it will, or at least you won't get as much arc on the ball as if the ball was rolling towards you. So if you were just to boost into the ball while it's rolling away from you, it will get a little pop off the ground, but the speed of the ball is what's mainly going to increase. Since you're just adding more speed or more momentum on the ball in the direction that it's already traveling, it's not going to pop up off the ground as much. It's just going to add more speed onto the ball in the direction that it's already going. However, this changes when the ball is actually rolling towards you instead of away from you. So when the ball is rolling towards you now, as we spoke about before in the series, where you saw a couple of times where the ball is rolling towards us and we went to get a touch forward, we end up popping the ball upwards and into the air. And I did say we're going to cover that when we reach the silver rank, which we are now. So when the ball is rolling towards us and the ball makes contact with us, the ball ends up bouncing off of our car and propelling in the opposite direction. So this causes the ball to bounce up. Since the ball has momentum coming towards us, it pops off the front of our car and up into the air. So that brings me to my next point here, and that is hook shots. So if the ball is rolling towards you, or you have control of the ball in a situation like we've been speaking about a lot in bronze, keeping control of the ball, keeping it close to us. Let's say we want to generate power on a ball that we have control of. How would we go about doing that? Well, this is where the hook shot comes in handy, right? So instead of rolling the ball directly towards the net with an opponent inside of it, we can roll the ball slightly to the side of the net and then meet the ball on the other side of it and hitting it forwards into the direction we want to hit it in. I did speak about this a lot in the How to Mechanics series for bronze and during the Road to GC series, that hitting the ball or positioning yourself to where you can hit the ball in the direction you want to hit it in is a big thing. So that's exactly how these hook shots work. By hitting the ball slightly to the side of where you want to hit it to, then going around the ball and trying to hit the ball into the net that way, you generate an upwards hit on the ball in the same way as if the ball was coming towards you. This is very useful for popping the ball over opponents that are sitting in net, and not just simply rolling the ball towards them and allowing them to get a free and easy save, as we start to see a lot of high bronze and silver players doing in the series. Just simply rolling the ball into the net has been proven to not be good enough, seeing as the players are starting to get a lot more comfortable on defense and a lot better on offense as well. But primarily right now we're just focusing on handling a defender, and popping the ball off the ground using a hook shot is a really good way to do this. Now this can also be utilized on the walls. If the ball is rolling up the wall, you can also use this hook shot to get a touch forward, to generate a harder hit forward on the ball, to send the ball in the direction you want to send it in by just positioning yourself behind the ball, tapping a boost, and getting a hard touch forward towards the net. We've seen a couple players use this in high bronze and in low silver, to where these players are starting to get really comfortable on the walls and generate pretty hard hits off the walls at their rank. So this is definitely something that I recommend that you practice as a silver. It's just trying to generate a hard hit off of the wall by rolling the ball up the wall sometimes, and when the ball's rolling up the wall, you also go up the wall, position behind the ball, and try to get a touch forward on the ball. Now of course you will run into situations where sometimes the ball might roll up the wall and it might bounce, or it might be a little bit further off the wall than you might think. So these are situations that are common to run into in Rocket League, where you might misread the ball rolling on the walls. The walls can be a little bit tricky, especially when just starting out, but as long as you take your time and assess the situation and see what's going on, you can try to make the best of it. So if you run into balls where they're rolling on the wall or they're kind of off the wall a little bit, you can kind of just take your time and wait for it to land and try to collect the ball as it lands. And if the opponent is challenging, you can just get ready to rotate back towards your net and rotate behind your teammate and allow your teammate to challenge for you, and then continue your play from there. But I think that's just about going to cover all the mechanics that you should know as a silver player. Not as much to cover in this video as there was in the bronze video, seeing as the bronze video covered a lot more of the basic stuff. And there's quite a bit of basic mechanics in the game for newer players to learn, but this is primarily focusing on how to use the skills that we've already learned faster and better, so that we can maximize the scoring opportunities and move out of silver and into gold. A lot of these tips or a lot of these mechanics we will be using in gold as well. And of course, the higher up in rank you go, the faster and more consistent you're going to be with these mechanics. So learning how to do some of these things a lot earlier is good. With that being said, I think that's going to conclude this episode of the how-to mechanics video for silvers. If you did enjoy, please be sure to drop a like and subscribe, and let me know down in the comments down below if you feel like I left anything out, or maybe something that I missed that you might see some silvers doing. But as of right now, as based on what I've seen and what I've assessed on the higher end of bronze and the low silvers, these seem to be the mechanics that will benefit silver players the most and help us, as well as you guys, push up out of the silver rank and into the gold rank as well. So that's going to be it for me. Peace.